So while I was sitting eating dinner, I noticed this when I was sitting down. That bracket is broke. That's not good. Hi there, I'm Dan.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're from Bikers, Byways, and Highways. We broke down 2 times on our trip with our grandkids in a matter of
6 days?
6 days.
6 days.
Yep. All right, so make sure and watch all the way to the end of the video because we're going to give you the tips we want to share that helped us get through both these breakdowns.
Yes.
It's pretty traumatic. Carolyn, a couple times, she was pretty beside herself.
I was very beside myself.
She was looking at new rigs.
I was. But this one's fine. We got it fixed.
Yep.
But yeah, they're very helpful tips, and hopefully if you ever get in this situation, they'll help you out too.
So while we're sitting at dinner at the KOA, eating the hot tamales we brought with us from New Mexico trip, I looked at the RV and I noticed there was something wrong with the axle shackle. It was actually broke. It was out of skew.
It was hanging down.
Yep. So I got up from dinner and looked at it, and I said to Carol, I said, "Oh, we got a problem. You have to tear it to see what all I need to do." So that next morning, I got up and went ahead and took the tire off. All right, tire's off. Pushed the axle on my jack from the truck and the other axle on the rear frame of the RV so that we lifted up on the hydraulic jacks to work on it would be safe. Nothing would happen to us. So once I took off that tire, not only was the shackle broke, but what else did I find?
A weld had broke.
Yep, right back where the leaf spring connects to the back of the frame. This is cracked. Let's see if I can get a better picture. See, it's actually cracked from the frame. So we're gonna have that welded. You can see where it wore a little bit after it cracked. So I went ahead and immediately put everything back together so it would be safe. And then I got to calling people and start on that right away. All right, so the first thing we had to do is I had to contact the manufacturer to see if they could help us out. Because we have an extended warranty, but I didn't believe that they would cover that part because it's a manufacturer issue, not an extended warranty issue. So I got on the horn with the telephone and the computer on the picnic table for a while.
A lot of phone calls.
Okay, I'm taking another avenue here. I'm trying to contact the manufacturer of our trailer to see if they cover the welds on the frame because that's where it broke the shackle for the and the actual weld for the brace for the frame. So I'm going to see what I can get here and hopefully get some help to get this fixed because we can't move it. Got a hold of somebody. They
finally
said, yeah, finally got a hold of somebody after waiting. I think it was number 10 at the beginning. And I explained to them what was going on. The young lady contacted her supervisor and they said, well, there's nothing we can do to help you out. It's Saturday and it's a holiday week coming up and we can't do anything until next week. And I said, well, I need help. And she says, well, I can give you the name of a couple people in the area. And she gave me the names of the same people I'd already found. No one was answering their phone. It was a Saturday night. So in the beginning, I was just looking for someone to repair the shackle. Then I realized I'm gonna have to have someone weld that broken weld spot when I found that. So what we did is I got on the, of course, Google and looked around for someone to fix it. And I was able to find a guy where I left a message. It's called Moose's Speedy Repair. And that was Saturday night. And he does diesel truck and trailer repair. So I knew he'd have to be able to do this. It'd be pretty simple. And he'd have a welding machine with him and a compressor. Because the other part I found out was I tried to get these bolts off myself with my impact wrench and they wouldn't come off. And we eventually found out why. It was more than just my impact wrench. Moose did call me back. He told me he could be out there on Tuesday. That was the earliest he could get to me. He was that booked up. So the next thing I did is I needed to find the shackle bolts, the actual nuts, the washers, and probably some inserts, some gaskets to go in there. So I got on a web page on Facebook that I belong to. It's basically the manufacturer's name, our Toy Haulers group. And I told my problem, I took a couple pictures, and within minutes I had people saying, oh yeah, we have that happen. Tractor Supply Company has what you're looking for. They'll have the bolts, the nuts, the washers. You just got to find them. and make sure you get the right size. So I got on the horn, Carolyn got on the horn, and we finally found what we needed at 2 different Tractor Supplies.
We had to go to 2 different Tractor Supplies to get the parts. But that was all right. At least we could get the parts.
Yes. So my granddaughter and I went and got the bolts and the nuts at one facility, and I bought an extra set in case I needed it, which we did. I didn't know at the time. And we had to go to another place to get the inserts that go in there. So we had those all ready. So here's the spare parts I got at Tractor Supply. Here's the actual shackles I was able to pick up. They come in packs of 4, both the shackles, the bolt, and the nut, and of course the bushings that you have to put in also. But I highly suggest you keep some of these spare on hand so you've got them in case spare guys don't have them. So after I had all the parts, we had to figure out what to do. We had our granddaughters with us, so we were going to be there for 3 days. Luckily, we'd stopped. This was at a KOA campground, and we would only be there 1 night. And
3 nights.
Carolyn got extended 3 nights. They're very nice about it.
Very helpful in that respect. Luckily, they had a pool that was opened, so they spent a lot of time in the pool.
A lot of time in the pool.
They had a fishing pond, so they did catch a few fish. It was a catch and release, but you know, they had a blast. They really thought that was cool.
Yeah, we used hot dogs.
Yeah.
All we had was hot dogs for bait. They're catching the heck out of them.
Yeah. And then we found a waterfall called Ozone Falls that was only about 15-20 minutes away. You had to hike down to it, but oh man, it was a cool waterfall. It was a great waterfall. We spent the whole day down there. And we did a couple local museums, which was a lot of fun. Learn about the local area. But we had a blast at the waterfall.
So Moose finally showed up on Tuesday morning, a little after 8 like he said he would, and he had everything we needed. I'd already removed the tires. I'd already put the axle on a jack for my truck, and I had the frame of the RV on a jack I'd bought all ready to go, and I had all the parts ready. So all I had to do was take his impact wrench and take the old shackle bolts off, weld the brace to the frame. Unfortunately, we found as he was taking the shackles off. There you go. That's what it's supposed to do. The bolts had actually bent and were pretty bad shape. There's no way I could have gotten them off with my impact wrench.
No, but he tried. You tried.
So what he had to finally do is he had to literally burn them off with a welding rod, and eventually put a new one in. So that worked out okay. But he did a really great job.
He did.
Very professionally. He even painted everything when it was done, cleaned up. I helped put it back together, and I got him to go ahead and put the RV tire back on and torque it right instead of me trying to do it manually, which I would if I could have.
He was a very, very nice guy.
Very good.
I would, if you're in that
Crossville, Tennessee,
and you need help for something like that, definitely call Speedy Moose RV Repair.
Yep. All right, 3 days later, we're going on I-75 up north towards the Ark, and I looked in my mirror because the girl said they thought I heard a funny noise, and saw that my tires were out of alignment about 4 inches. So I just checked the RV at a rest stop not 10-15 miles ago. So we pulled off here at Coben, Kentucky, and we've got a broken leaf spring in the same area that we repaired it. That's a broken spring. It went and broke. Not good. All right, breakdown number 2. We were on our way to go see the Ark up in, what city?
Williamstown, Kentucky.
Yep. And we were, it was about lunchtime. We just crossed the Kentucky border, and there was an exit for Corbin, Kentucky, about 7 miles away.
Yeah.
And we hit some pretty bad potholes, and I didn't think of it. And one of the granddaughters said, "Papa, sounds funny. What happened?" I said, "Oh, we just hit potholes." So as I'm always doing, and Carolyn can attest to this, I'm always looking at my mirrors, you know, every so often, every 15, 20 minutes, just checking
He does.
to make sure there's nothing falling off the rig or needing repair. And when I look back on my driver's side, I noticed that the trailer was askew. It was this way, and the tires were about 4 inches difference between the front and the back one. I thought, that ain't good. And I looked on Carolyn's side, and the trailer was going down the road so angled, I couldn't even see down the side of the trailer. So I told Carolyn very calmly, not to get her upset or the kids, I said, hey, we got a problem. I think something's wrong with the axle. We need to stop. I said, I'm going to go real slow, and we're going to go up to this next exit at Corbin. I think there's an RV dealer there. I thought I saw a sign. And we'll go to Love's, fill up with gas, because we need it anyways, get lunch, call that place, because this was a Thursday, before the 4th of July weekend. So we got to Love's, and I went back to check it out, and I was looking at it, I thought, man, that's in the same side as the repairs earlier in the week. And I got to looking, there's nothing wrong with the shackles repaired.
Everything that we had fixed already was fine.
Fine, it was just fine. What had happened was, that leaf spring had finally broken. Because we fixed all the bad parts, apparently it tightened it up, and it actually broke. In fact, there's I have a picture where you can see where it had been rusting, where it finally did give way. So it had been bad for a while. So that's what we determined had happened. Next thing was, it was starting to rain, and there were some big storms on its way in. They were going to rain for the next 3 days, and I mean torrential rains. That's why we're trying to hurry up to get the ARC that day, and we didn't make it, obviously.
We were only 2 hours away from the campground up there, but at least we found a place to stay.
Yeah. So Carolyn got on the horn, I got on the horn, I was calling around. Wildcat RV, right there at the exit, was open. It was Thursday. We went over to the parts counter, told her our problem. A young lady there, Brandy, was able to help us tremendously. She started calling around looking for the leaf spring parts.
Very helpful.
Carolyn started looking around for leaf springs parts. I did too. At first, we thought we had a 6-leaf spring that we needed about 30 miles away, so we hop in the truck. We had made a phone call to have a guy who's going to actually, right behind where they were.
They let us park our trailer there because there's no way we could have taken the trailer.
Not at the RV park, but we had to park at the truck repair shop. All he did was repair 18-wheelers. And he allowed us to park it there because we told him what was going on, and they had already talked to him from Wildcat, so he was up to replacing the leaf springs. So I get to that place, and we go back to get the leaf spring, and he says, oh, I don't have that leaf spring. I have a 5-leaf spring for 5,000 pound, or 5,000 pound rigs, axles, which mine are 7s. And I got the 7,000 pound, but they're not going to work because there's not 2 eyelets. There's an eyelet and a leaf hinge. Needless to say, I was rather upset.
Oh, he was livid.
I don't lose my temper much, but I was pretty mad. So I didn't take it out on the guy. I just cooled down, walked back out to the rig, and I told Carol what happened, and we drove back to Wildcat. And while we were driving, Carolyn had got on the phone with a very large national RV dealership.
Yes.
And what did you find?
I found the leaf spring. I did. It was in Knoxville.
Well, Knoxville is who you got it through, but they actually contacted one of their suppliers. It was the only place in the country. I'd even called, and so had Wildcat RV, just to make sure. We'd actually called the manufacturer, and they had none in stock. It was on definite back order because all this stuff going on from it coming from overseas. So we were like, oh no, we're out of luck. But Carolyn found it. I talked to those people. They said, okay, we can get it here, but it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks.
Not good.
And then it's going to take a couple days for us to ship it from here to Wildcat. And I said, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. So using my distribution background, because that's what I do for a living, I said, look, here's what we're going to do. You're going to overnight that. This is Thursday. Get it filled so we can get it here by tomorrow. They said, well, we can't do that, but we can get there by Saturday. I said, fine, do that.
Saturday works.
Saturday, we can do that. Then he says, okay, well, it'll take till next Wednesday or Thursday to get there because we can't ship it UPS until the following Monday. And I said, that is not going to work. I said, here's what we're going to do. You ship it there. I'll be there Saturday morning, bright and early, to pick up that part. And I'll pay for it at the time and the shipping. And that's exactly what we did.
And the freight, yeah.
Yep. So Carol and I and the girls, we made a good day out of it. We got up and got in the truck and drove 200 miles round trip. Got that 1 leaf spring we needed to get it back, to get it repaired on Monday. So we got it parked over here, parked it on Friday, and they're gonna work on it on Monday. One of the very lucky things we had happen with this breakdown also was there was a Super 8 hotel right next to the Wildcat RV.
Right there.
There was a couple restaurants, there were a couple truck stops in the area, so there's plenty of food just in walking distance. So now what we need to do is it's time to find something to do for the kids. It's a holiday weekend. Oh yeah, luckily
It's 4th of July weekend.
we got the last room.
The last room.
The last room in town at that last hotel.
Yes.
So they were good enough to extend it once we found out we were going to be there till Monday. And that was a good thing. So we were very lucky at that. Now the next thing was, what are we going to do for that time frame?
Well, we had planned on going up to the Ark anyways. So we went all the way up to Williamstown, Kentucky, and went to the Ark. And if you haven't been there, that is fantastic. That is on put that on your things to do list.
That's definitely a bucket list item.
A bucket list.
It's huge.
Yes. Yes. And we went to Cumberland Falls.
All right, so while we're down with the RV getting fixed, we've brought the grandkids over here to Cumberland Falls. We're gonna take a look at it, see what it looks like. So here we go. Wow, it's a lot of water.
Which was beautiful, beautiful, because there had been so much rain. Though that fall was really, really going.
Yeah, you could tell by the color of the water. It was just full of mud and silt. It was just pouring.
But it was beautiful. I'm very glad that we went there.
And we even saw a rainbow in one of the videos, and we'll show you here.
Yeah, because there was so much water from the waterfall. And then since it was hot, and it was 4th of July weekend, so we decided let's find a lake. And we went to the Laurel River Lake, which is right in the area near Corbin, Kentucky. And we went swimming. It was a beautiful day. It was just a gorgeous day. And everybody else was out there swimming too. And it's a nice lake.
Yeah, it was actually the 4th of July, so Carolyn had bought a watermelon. We'd kept it in the ice chest. It was cold. And I cut it up right there in the back of the rig, and us and the granddaughters had our watermelon on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
And of course, we watched the fireworks from the hotel room. There was plenty of fireworks just to see around in the area, just being out there. But we made the best of it. We did not sit in the hotel room the whole day for 3 days. We did something every single day. Just find things to do.
Okay, so here's the tips we have to share with you guys. Number one, help from manufacturer if warranted. Get on the phone, contact people, don't give up. If you got to hit the zero numerous times to get a human being, do that.
That was almost the hardest part, is finding a human being on the phone.
And explain to them, and make sure to take pictures. Text them the pictures or email them the pictures so you know what you're talking about, and they know too. Because some of the people at those desks, they don't know anything about it. They're just reading from a script.
They have no clue.
Yep. The other thing, if you have an extended warranty, which I highly suggest you have if you're full-time RVers like us, buy it.
Thank goodness we have one.
Yeah, we've more than paid for it, probably threefold, maybe fourfold after this.
Yes.
And don't be afraid. You get on the horn with them, same thing. Tell them the problem, tell them what you need, tell them who you've already contacted, so if they've got a list, they can add to it, and help them figure out what to do to get you on the road. Sometimes you need to push it a little bit because you know more about what's going on with it, but get them to help and get names and stuff to get it taken care of. The next tip, don't give up.
Be persistent.
Be very creative.
Yes.
Like me getting on, finding those parts that who would have known at a tractor supply company?
No, we had no clue.
None of the RV parks had them at all. Even finding the leaf spring. We thought we had one at a local trailer dealer, but he didn't have it, unfortunately. And we finally found it at another competing big RV dealership. And again, the brick could have been there 2 to 3 weeks. But we said, look, send it right away. We'll come get it.
Yes.
We want to get this thing fixed and get it going. So always persistent and be creative. The other things, keep all receipts.
All receipts.
Take lots of pictures. That way you've got the ability to send those email or text to anybody who's working with you to get it fixed, and especially with the warranty company or the manufacturer.
Because they want to see those pictures of what's actually happening.
Right. And with our particular warranty, we not only have the parts to be repaired and the labor, but we also got so many days in a hotel, not to exceed a much. We got so much money per day, per diem, not to exceed. meals, and oh yeah, and we had food that got spoiled, 4 or 5 days without it being taken care of, and
Yes.
we had to toss it out. So, and even the shipping part, we're hoping that they're going to help us with that shipping, because the rig could have been down for 3 weeks and a lot more money than what we paid in the shipping, which is actually more the part, but that's okay.
But we got the part.
Yeah, I'm a businessman. It's a no-brainer. If it's only going to cost $260 to ship something, and you're going to be down, and it's going to cost $5 to $6 grand to reimburse you for all the time and money and food, that's kind of a no-brainer. The next tip.
Find activities to do while you're waiting to get your repairs done. You can't sit in that motel room all day, especially when you've got your grandkids with you. Go ask the locals. Look in their local paper. Just get on the internet and say things to do near me. There's lots of options out there, and thank goodness there were so many nice things to do in the area.
And we would have never done those things if we hadn't had Carol looking for them. We would just buzzed on through the area, not even knowing. It was pretty cool we got to see and do, and the girls, our grandkids, really loved it. And we did too.
We made the best out of it, but we all had a good time.
All right, the last tip I'm going to give you is always be safe.
Yes.
You can ask Carol. I'm always checking the rig, the truck. I'm always checking the RV to make sure it's fine, the bike in the back, everything's secure every time we stop, and I do that every time before we get ready to go. If I've got done filling up with gas,
He does.
whatever we've done, because besides these 2 times we broke down, I've found tires that were about to blow we had repaired before a problem. We've had siding come off I was able to repair. Many things. So always do that. It'll help keep you safe, and it really did keep us from being on both these instances, being on the side of the road with this going on, and that would not be good. Very dangerous, and who wants your rig on the side of the road for days?
We saw several unfortunate people on the side of the road with their rigs, blown tires, who knows what it was, but I felt so sorry for them. I really did, because they couldn't get off the road.
Yep. Always think of safety and always check your rig, whatever you're doing. You can never be too over.
You can never be too safe.
Yeah, you can never.